Pearl Academy of Fashion is a radical piece of design, not simply because it's a individual iconic standalone building, but simply because of where it is rooted. And where it is rooted is the city of Jaipur. And as we all know, Jaipur has a tremendous history in terms of its cultural and historical implications on the evolution of architecture in India. But in addition to that heritage, it's also an extremely harsh climate, a climate with temperatures ranging from 2 degrees in winters to 50 degrees in summer. Our biggest challenge was the budget. We didn't think it was doable. But having said that, that was the primary reason why we took it on. Because here was an opportunity for innovation. As it turned out, the most resource-dependent area was air conditioning and power supply. The only means available to us was to go and investigate into buildings and developments from historic periods. Projects that were built several hundred years back were naturally environmentally sustainable, not because they were trying to save the planet, simply because they didn't have a choice. All we really did was take 10 steps back to take 1 step forward. And that's where the idea of saying, fine, everything in this project will be underlined by being environmentally sustainable. So we started off with a very simple shape, which is a simple rectangle perimeter. And the idea again was to use the idea of a fort, because we're in an industrial area. We wanted to screen off the surroundings. Once we had this perimeter, we carved out the internal courtyards from this building. And the courtyards were shaped given the orientation of the sun, which allows the building to cut off the sun for about 10 months of the year and only allow it through in the 1 or 2 winter months that we get. Third strategy that we adopted was to thermally insulate the roofs, and with which we did with a very old strategy of using mudkas, earthenware pots, inverting them and keeping them all over the terrace, which provides an air cavity, and air is a great insulator which helps protect the roof surface. We had to do something more, and then the something more that came to us was that the temperature of the earth 3 meters below the surface is equivalent to the average temperature of the space. So in Jaipur, that would be about 27-28 degrees Celsius. So we scooped out the underbelly, created a stepwell, again deriving from traditional principles, harvested the rainwater and recycled the water from the sewerage and used that to keep the water bodies fed through the year, so that we get air coming through the building from the underbelly, cooling on the stepwells and rising and cooling the building from the inside. And that strategy proved extremely successful because basements are naturally cool through the summer months and naturally warm through the winter months. We then turned to the external perimeter and relied on the jali. The jali is basically a screen which acts as a second skin to the building, shading the building itself but allowing filtered light to come through, hence providing daylighting from the outside as well as the courtyards providing daylighting from the inside, yet keeping the sun completely abstract from the building. All 5 elements put together absolutely created a wonder. We managed for about 80 to 90% of the time to get a building which would not rely on artificial lighting or on air conditioning, which was superb. A building is truly green, is truly sustainable, not only if it's environmentally adaptive, but if it is also financially adaptive, if it is cheaper to build. It is not an added-on layer, it is integral to the process of design. And that, I think, is the fundamental myth of green design that needs to be shattered. And I think the Pearl Academy of Fashion has gone a long way in doing that.